So here we go. Parallel line. There's parallel line reasons. In particularly, we're looking at the alternate angles. And the alternate angles are always found whenever you see a Z shape like this and two parallel lines, or a Z shape like that and those two parallel lines. Those two angles will be exactly the same. Those two angles are the same, and those two angles will be the same. The next one is co-interior angles. Co-interior angles add to 180 degrees, and this is the U shape. You can go like that, down, left, or right, and these two lines are parallel for these. Co-interior angle X and the O adds up to 180 degrees. They're not equal for this one. The next one is called corresponding, and corresponding angles are also equal. This is the F shape. Can be an F going upside down, downwards, or even upwards. And those two angles are corresponding. Okay, this was parallel. Those two angles, this one and this one, would be corresponding angles. So corresponding alternate co-interior. The next one is vertically opposite. This one is easy to remember because this is just a crossroad. The vertically opposite angles is when you see two lines that intersect. Those two angles are the same, and they called vertically opposite. Now the reason we need to know all of these because after we've found the size of angles, we've got to give reasons as well. And sometimes we also have angles on a straight line, which add up to 180 degrees. So angles on a straight line equals 180 degrees. And that would be, for example, if I have 40 degrees over here, this would be 140 degrees because angles on a straight line add up to 180. Okay, this is not part of parallel lines. This is just other added parts when we get given a question. We also know that angles, and short for angles, we can also use this. Angles in a triangle equals 180 degrees. If you've got a triangle, all the angles on the inside add up to 180 degrees. But let's start with some parallel lines first. I've got a few parallel lines running here. There's two transversals which are also parallel. Okay, so these are parallel lines, and let's say this is the point A, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the point B, 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 1, 2, 3, 4. D, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those two lines are also parallel to each other. So they intersect at A, B, C, and D. And I'm told that A2, so I'm given the following information. I'm told that angle A2 is equal to 35 degrees. And I'm asked to find the following with reasons. Find, with reasons, the size of the following angles. So A3, B1, and you've got to give a reason as well. So I'll keep a space for a reason as well from here. B1, which is over here. B3 is over there. And D1 is equal to, as well as B3. There's sometimes more than one reason as well. And then C4, let's say. Okay. Try and get each one, see if you can get it. And yeah. All right, let's go through this one again. All right, I'm going to go through each one here. Now, A3 is what we're going to find. A2 is 35 degrees. So let's start and label this over here. 35 degrees, and that's given. If I want to find A3, that's over here, those two angles add up to 180 degrees. So I know that A3 will be 180 minus 130, which is 145 degrees, and that's because of angles on a straight line. This is going to be 145 degrees. Angles on a straight line equals to 180 degrees. If I work each of these straight down one by one with the information I have, I might develop more and more reasons along the way. But for now, this is the only reason if I went to A3. Now let's go to B1. B1 is over here. B1 and A2, you can see they both lie in the top right-hand corner of the intersection of two lines. So these two angles are corresponding angles and equal. So B1 is going to be 35 degrees, and the reason is going to be corresponding angles because they correspond to each other. We also have to state the parallel lines that are creating this. Whenever we put corresponding angles or co-interior angles or alternate angles, we must put the parallel lines that are creating it. Now, over here, we've got two sets of parallel lines. We've got AB, which is parallel to CD, and they're going this way. And then at the same time, we've got AC, which is parallel to BD, and they're going upwards like that. So it's either one of those two, and that's the parallel lines symbol, two lines which are right next to each other. Now, corresponding angles, B1 is equal to 35 because of these two parallel lines over here. So AC and BD. So I'm going to write that AC parallel to BD. Marker location here would be 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks so far. All right. If the questions in a test don't require this, then it's just 2 marks. If they do require reasons, then we have 4 marks. D1. All right. Angle D1 is over here. Now we said this is 35 degrees. This angle is equal to this angle at the bottom. And they're corresponding again. So D1 is going to be 35 degrees, corresponding again. But this time, it's because of AB being parallel to CD. So those two parallel lines, that's why they're equal. AB parallel to CD. Now we want to find B3. B3 is over here. That I can see is vertically opposite. I can also see that it's alternate, and I can also see that it's co-interior. So it's vertically opposite, alternate, and co-interior. So I can choose one. B3 is 35 degrees, and I can choose between any one of those. The easiest one is vertically opposite, but we haven't used alternate, so I have to say alternate angles. All right. Alternate angles. And we can write the parallel lines, AC parallel to BD. And there's only two options. So remember, alternate, corresponding, and co-interior, we use that. C4 now. C4 is over here. C4 is equal to A3. And you can see that is a Z shape as well. This is going to be alternate as well. C4 will be 145 degrees. Alternate angles. And the reason for the lines that are at play here are AB and CD in this case. So AB parallel to CD for each of those. So we're looking at a minimum marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your minimum mark that you could get for this depending on how it's marked or given. And the maximum mark here would be 10 marks, maybe around there, plus minus 10 marks.